Brian Sullivan joins us by phone. But, Brian, apparently the issue here is that if Russia's pumping less but they don't count anymore, this could pave the way for Saudi and others to pump significantly more. Is that right?
Yeah, we don't have a lot else, Kelly, by the way, and this is a Wall Street Journal exclusive. I want to give them props for their reporting on this. And nothing is done, but what the journal is saying is that OPEC, and of course Russia's not a member of OPEC, they're a member of that OPEC Plus group, which is Russia and a bunch of other countries, but Russia matters much more because of its size, that if they are suspended from this deal that they have all made, this declaration of cooperation that they made a few years ago, which is basically a one for all for one type thing, where that's why one can't pump unilaterally more. If Russia scoots out of that, perhaps then OPEC has clearance for the countries that do have ability, to your point, Saudi, UAE, to fill that gap. So maybe adding incremental barrels on the market. That's why the price of oil, it's still positive right now, but it's come down a couple of bucks. If this occurred, and it's unclear from the journal's reporting if it would or not, of course, I'm reaching out to my OPEC sources right now as well. It's unclear when it would be enacted, how much more could come on the market. But obviously, Kelly, the market reacted.
It reacted, and it reacted in a big way, Brian. We're down about $4 or $5 from the session highs earlier today. I mean, is there anything keeping Saudi? I mean, other than agreements and formalities, what have you? I mean, could they be pumping a lot more crude right now? I mean, would that significantly ease the supply crisis globally?
They have the spare capacity. The UAE has the spare capacity. They may be the only OPEC nations that do, just due to just maintenance problems, issues, whatever it may be. Most OPEC countries do not. The Saudis do. But like I said, what people don't get is this thing called the Declaration of Cooperation, basically all for one for all, that we're going to make a deal and everybody has their quotas. And if one can't do it, nobody can do it. And so that provides the group the ability to say, well, I can't pump more because Angola or whatever can't pump more. Equatorial Guinea cannot do it. So, of course, the group could come to a group decision and change its targets. We've kind of been waiting for that. They've been adding 432,000 barrels per day the last couple of months, 400,000 barrels a day before that. And obviously, the Biden administration has been nudging, prodding, pushing, trying to cajole OPEC, particularly the Saudis, to pump more oil, which is something that they have not done because they will say we don't want to break with the OPEC deal. So if the OPEC deal doesn't break itself, but if Russia leaves, that might give the other members cover, political group cover, to do what they want.
How tied is this to the idea that the EU has decided to place a ban on Russian oil imports?
Well, Tyler, I find the timing to be very interesting.
Right.
I mean, maybe nothing, but that's, yeah. But that, listen, obviously it has a lot to do with this timing. Now, of course, EU is going to do it tomorrow. They haven't done anything officially, but it looks like it's going to happen. So maybe that's why the Journal got this leak, or they were able to come up with the story. Nice job by them, by the way. Mm-hmm. So if you see this lack of imports into Russia, it'll cut off Russian production probably by 1 or 2 million barrels a day, unless, as Kelly and I talked about last hour, they can find new buyers for that incremental barrel in India and China. If China says, you know what, Russia, we're close, but we're not that close, we don't need those barrels because we just don't want to deal with the hassle of them, and India can't take enough, well, Russia's going to either, they're going to come down in production, and that would be a natural ability for OPEC to potentially make some of that up. Or maybe the United States, Tyler. It's easier to export from Houston to Rotterdam than it is to ship from Houston to New Jersey. Remember that. Thank you, Jones Act.
All right, sir. Thank you very much. Brian Sullivan on the phone.
Thanks,
appreciate the explanation.
Bye-bye.